Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about Kazzara the Hellforged, which is the first boss of the Aberrus raid, which will be coming out in 10.1. So with that being said, all of this footage is from the first day of PTR, so a lot of this is subject to change, but this will at least give you a general overview of how the fight works. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into it. Alright, to start off, if you're a tank, there's just a simple tank swap mechanic called Terror Claws. You don't want to be ever getting more than one of these stacks, so make sure you're switching every time someone gets a stack. And that's pretty much it for the tanks. Throughout the fight, the healers will need to deal with Infernal Heart, which is just a small amount of pulsing damage, though this will speed up throughout the fight whenever the boss casts Hellsteel Carnage, which will happen at 70%, 50%, and 30% health. This will also spawn swirlies that you'll just have to dodge. At 100% energy, the boss will begin to cast Hell Beam, so make sure that you're not standing in front of the boss when this happens. Throughout the fight, the boss will also target a handful of players with Dread Rifts, which after 5 seconds will drop a rift on the ground. Make sure that you're taking these out of the group, but still keeping them somewhat accessible because you'll need it for the next mechanic, which is Rays of Anguish. Each player targeted by Rays of Anguish will need to kite a beam through a rift in order for the beam to stop following them. This will despawn the rift, leaving behind a patch of Void Zone. So each player will need to find their own rift in order to get rid of their beams. The amount of rifts and beams that are spawned will increase each time the boss casts Hellsteel Carnage, so make sure you're aware of that as well. And lastly, the boss will cast Wings of Extinction, which will knock all players back and also put a ticking dot on them for minor damage. So make sure that you're watching where you're placing yourself so you're not getting knocked back into those void zones. And that's pretty much it. Nothing too crazy going on here with Kazzara, which is perfectly fine for the first boss of a raid on Heroic. With that being said, I do want to re-emphasize the point that the Dread Rifts really do need to be away from the group, but not so far away that they're unaccessible. One of the things that was happening in the pug group that I was in for my testing was they were creating like a little field of all these Dread Rifts, which were almost on top of each other. Make sure that you can still get to them, that they're not behind everything. You can have them somewhat out. You'll have plenty of room. You can use both sides. So make sure that you're putting them somewhere accessible, just not on top of everyone else. So that's the big thing to take away from this. It'll be very easy as long as you're paying attention to that and not getting knocked back into those void zones. Other than that, it's a little bit of a healing check, I think, just with the damage going out. We'll see how that is on Mythic, but for the most part, a very, very simplistic fight. So that's pretty much it for this video. If you want to see these happen live, I am streaming on Twitch at twitch.tv/Ridmark, and I will be doing as much of the testing as I can for the raid fights. Other than that, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to give this a thumbs up. It does help with the channel. Feel free to leave a comment if you have any questions about it. And other than that, guys, I will see you in the next video.